What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. I do hope you're doing well. Thank you for stopping by as ever. I really appreciate it. Real quickly, before we get into the video, if you could hit the like button if you've not done so already. If you could also subscribe, and if you want to leave any comments, please feel free in the comment section down below. I said it that fast that I nearly tripped over my own words. Anyways, how are we all? I hope we're all doing well. We are here to discuss another home victory. That's now 5 games on the bounce ever. First time that's happened. Overall, it was a grindy performance, but a performance that they're the type of performances that really count, if that makes sense. They're the type of performances that you put in. Excuse me. They're the type of performances that you put in that, on one hand, you know, they work. They're not the best to watch sometimes, but when you actually factor in certain elements of it, then they are actually quite good to watch. Overall, I thought it was a good performance. We did a really good job of restricting Norwich. We obviously came out of the blocks quickly, which is what we always like to see. We got the early goal, which again is really good. Brilliant cross by Dan James, who had a really good first half. Just a shame that he had to go off injured. I hope he's all right. I doubt very much that we'll see him at the weekend in the FA Cup game, which, to be fair, I'm not bothered about. Beautiful header by Bamford, really nicely put back across. Archie Gray, phenomenal game-saving tackle. Joe Rodon is just an absolute Rolls Royce of a defender as far as I'm concerned. He's the epitome of just seeing everything, sweeping everything up, putting the challenges in, and he enjoys defending, I think, is a fair comment to make, which is really nice to see. He's just very good at what he does. You just can't take it away from him at all. He's just very good at what he does. Ampadu did really well next to him as well, just sort of tidying everything up. Firpo has suddenly turned into a steady left back. It's interesting. It's very interesting. He seems to have put a bit more thought into how he defends now, rather than just going at a million miles an hour. There's a bit more thought and process to what he's actually doing. He's somebody that can attack quite well, and he's somebody also as well that now seems to be able to defend quite well. I also hope Archie Gray's okay. I hope that it's nothing too serious. Again, I would be flabbergasted if we see him on Saturday. There was a lot of tired bodies out there, and I think the team basically getting the shit kicked out of them for, you know, over 100 minutes at the weekend probably took its toll a little bit last night. So it's one of those things. Gruev, great, steady. I think he was in the ref's ear a lot last night, so he's doing a lot of shit housing, which I've got, you know, I can't, it's fine. We need something like that. Kamara, okay game, not too bad. Somerville is going through a little bit of a difficult times wrong, because he can just spike something to happen kind of immediately out of nowhere. So he isn't a bad player, but his standards are so high that when he's dropped off of it slightly, he just looks like, well, we notice it when he's not playing at his peak, shall we say. Dan James, again, good game. Again, shame that he had to come off injured, but I thought Jaden Anthony did well when he came on, so got no issues with that at all. Bamford, who on FootMob is the highest rated player, got man of the match or star of the game. He got a rating of 8.2. So overall, I think his overall game was good. He played well. He does what he does really well when he's occupying defenders. Out of it a little bit in the second half. Rutter is just Rutter. He just takes the piss. There's no other way of saying it. He is head and shoulders above some of the other teams and some of the other players in this league, and it's ridiculous. And it, you know, I've said it before and I'll say it again. It's like watching. He's unorthodox in the way that he plays. It's like watching Bambi on ice running, but he has the strength of like 10 tigers. It's just, I don't know how he does it. It's ridiculous. And somebody mentioned about the nutmeg, which was like the slowest nutmeg in the world, but it was like you could see it coming, but there was nothing that the defender could do to stop it whatsoever at all. So yeah, it was, like I said, it was a good game. As much as we all hate David Wagner, or I hate David Wagner, he is a good coach. Lineups wise, we set up the same. We had a good kind of start in period to the actual match itself. Norwich came into it a little bit. Comical miss right before half time. So we were lucky not to go in at 1-1, but these are the margins that you're actually working with. And then we came out at the start of the second half and did okay, but then Norwich really took over. But the odd thing is that they took over without really kind of doing a lot with it. And what we had to do as a team is that we had to be strong and we had to defend really resolutely. It wasn't like we were being attacked. What we had to do was keep our concentration and keep our shape, and we did that really, really well. And I'm just going to put a stat up in the corner just sort of here. So I don't know what happened there. I pressed the button, sorry. So I'm just going to put a stat up here just so you can see in terms of Norwich's overall touches and everything in the second half and where they kind of played. And it's kind of funny the way that it pans out. They had 4, if you want to be really generous, 4.5, but technically 4 touches in our box in the entire second half for all of the possession that they had in the second half. And we restricted them to 2 shots, I think, outside of the box. So what we did really well was we did a really good job of going, right, fine, you can have the ball, but we will move you about and we will keep our position strong to stop you from being able to score a goal. And then obviously Archie Gray with that tackle, the game-saving tackle, which was just phenomenal. You forget that he is 17 years old and he just does, such a brilliant job to go with it. And overall, very, very impressed, very, very happy. It's those types of games for me that last year even we would have lost. And it's these types of games that if you want to get promoted, you have to win. And we now have phase 1 of the real opportunity is done of winning that game. We now need to go to phase 2, which is Bristol City. We have to make it count. No two ways about it. We have to make it count. I want us going to bed on Friday, hopefully, fingers crossed, in second place. That's what I want. I want us all going to bed on Friday night with us in second place. I want the pressure on everybody else. Because at the moment, we're getting to that stage within the season where we all kind of go, oh, this is a bit of a slog now, and you have to be up for the fight. And we all said it's a marathon, not a sprint. And you can see certain cracks appearing in some of the competitors for second place, sort of Ipswich having a little bit of a tough time at the moment. Leicester are just Leicester. I don't think anybody's going to touch them. It's going to take something absolutely mammoth for them. I mean, they've got to have a squirrel at some point, but we've been saying that, and I just can't see it happening. So us and Southampton have got a really interesting run in to go, and the fact that we're playing Southampton last game of the season at home is just ridiculous. But there you go. So yeah, overall, I'm happy with the game. I'm happy overall. Just looking at people's marks, and there's the momentum calendar or the momentum marker, if you like, on there in terms of how we played, and it was an even game. Like I said, Norwich are a good side. They set up to play well. They had a lot of the ball, but they had a lot of the ball and didn't do a lot with it in terms of putting challenges on us, and a lot of that is down to us and the concentration that we kept within the game, and not losing shape and not losing structure in our, in the way that we were defending. And we did really, really well. I was more than happy, although stressed at the time. I was more than happy with how it turned out. So in terms of player ratings, we've got Gruev coming in at number 5 at 7.6, Rutter at 7.7, Firpo at 7.9, Joe Rodon at 7.9, and then you've got Bamford in 8.2. And I've taken those stats from FootMob, so that's just based on what they've got there. So that's 4 wins on the bounce now. We're doing quite well. We're building up that head of steam, and we're kind of with that team at the moment that I think people are going to be nervous to play against. Hopefully, it's just one of those, that imperiousness that comes with consistently winning or consistently not beating. And when you look at it in terms of the stats, since the turn of the new year, we've scored 12 goals and let in 1. Brilliant. You cannot ask for any more than that at all. And we just need to keep going. We just need to keep doing what we're doing and playing how we're playing. And I just hope that things like injuries and fitness don't come up to, to bite us in the backside. But happy boy. Let's move on to the next one. Obviously, Plymouth in the FA Cup. We'll see how that one goes. And then it's on to Bristol at... Friday night game, isn't it? I forgot. Yeah, Bristol on Friday night, 8 o'clock. Friday? On Friday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. That's going to do it for this one. As I said at the start, if you haven't done so already, click the like button. If you've enjoyed the video, if you're new, if you could hit the subscribe button as well. If you've got any comments that you want to make, please feel free, put them in the comment section down below. And we will, it's never easy being a Leeds fan. It's stressful, but it's fun at the same time. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.